Reverse type 2 diabetes within 3 months with this method. My name is Charmaine and I'm the dietitian that helps people reverse type 2 diabetes. If you don't believe me, just go to my success testimonial playlist. There's a lot of people that were able to reverse their diabetes in 3 months, in 4 months, in 6 months. Of course, everybody's speed is different, but it's totally possible to reverse diabetes in just 3 months. For example, Carlos was able to lower his A1C from 9.5 to 5.6 in 3 months. Corina was able to lower her A1C from 9.6 to 4.9 in 3 months. So it's definitely possible. And I wanted to preface this by saying the sooner you start, the faster the results will be. It's important that when you are first diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, that you take action to reverse it first, because research have shown that people who are newly diagnosed or even at the pre-diabetic range have a way easier time of putting your diabetes into remission or reversing it. So make sure you watch this video and get on starting with reversing type 2 diabetes. So with this method, it's the reversing insulin resistance method. And the reason why it's so effective is because it deals with the root cause of type 2 diabetes. A lot of times people just tend to focus on the blood sugars, the numbers, the surface levels, not actually on what's happening inside your body. For example, talking about the surface level approach, if you see your blood sugar is high, then normally someone would choose to cut carbs to lower their blood sugar, but that's not actually addressing the root cause of type 2 diabetes. The root cause is not the carbs itself, but it's actually on insulin resistance, how your body is processing that carbohydrate. Insulin resistance is caused by the buildup of fatty acids inside your liver and in your muscle cells. What it does is that it turns off insulin receptors, causing insulin to not effectively bring in glucose from the blood into the cells, and that's why glucose is stuck in the blood, and that's what causes high blood sugars, and which in turn can increase your A1C, where your doctor may diagnose you with diabetes. Now, if that didn't make any sense to you, let's pretend your cell is a lock and insulin is key. Normally, it works perfectly to open up the lock so that glucose can go into your cells, right? However, let's say a kid stuck some chewing gum in the lock. Does it work anymore? No, because there's chewing gum in the lock, right? So what you should do here is to actually clean out the gum from the lock. So that gum, in this case, is actually the buildup of fatty acids. Now, what causes these buildup of fatty acids? The 3 major factors that contribute to insulin resistance and to these buildup of fatty acids is 1, a sedentary lifestyle, meaning that there's lack of physical activity. Number 2 is excessive consumption of calories. Number 3 is a high saturated fat diet. So a lot of times these major factors contribute to insulin resistance, which actually insulin resistance can happen 10 to 20 years before you're ever diagnosed with diabetes. So it's very important to understand that you need to deal with the root cause first. And when you are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, you definitely want to take action very soon to reverse it. Now, let's go back to how you can reverse insulin resistance so that you can reverse type 2 diabetes. The best way to do so, in my experience, is a plant predominant diet. Now, this is not just based on my experience, but it's also based on a lot of different scientific research as well. It's been shown that a plant-based diet is helpful for reversing your insulin resistance, and there's multiple mechanisms that can help you reduce your insulin resistance and improve your insulin sensitivity. Not only so, it's also been found that a plant-based diet is helpful for improving your beta cell function, which is very important because your beta cells are responsible for producing insulin. And if you burn out beta cells when you don't care about your blood sugars, you risk the chance of not being able to produce insulin in the future. So make sure you also protect your beta cells as well. And also, when we talk about reversing insulin resistance with a plant-based diet, I'm not asking you to go vegan or vegetarian. You do not have to give up meat if you don't want to, but it's mostly about leaning more towards minimally plant-based food. So things like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. It's not about taking away, but it's about adding and switching to healthier alternatives. So a lot of times people are afraid to reverse their diabetes because they don't want to give up meat. Now you don't have to. It's really about adding more fiber and limiting your saturated fat intake. This combination I found is super helpful in helping people reverse diabetes and on increasing their carbohydrate tolerance. Because to me, reversing diabetes isn't just about lowering your A1C. I'm passionate about, yes, helping people lower their A1C back to normal levels, but at the same time, allow their body be able to process carbohydrates again so that they'll be able to eat carbs and still have normal blood sugar. Obviously, the healthy kind of carbs like fruits and whole grains, but I am passionate about helping you be able to also increase your carbohydrate tolerance so that when you go travel or when you eat out, you can still have balanced blood sugars. For example, I had a client in the past tell me that he went to Chick-fil-A, but he was excited because this time when he went to Chick-fil-A, his blood sugar didn't skyrocket, he didn't feel sluggish afterwards. And the moral of the story is to increase your carbohydrate tolerance so that you'll be able to have these quotas and be able to live a little and enjoy other foods every once in a while. I'm not saying that Chick-fil-A is the healthiest thing ever, but it's definitely something that I try to help my clients be able to do, is to actually transform their body on a cellular level. That way they're able to increase their glucose metabolism, increase their glucose tolerance, and be able to enjoy other foods and still be able to have great blood sugars. If you want to see more stories of how people are able to reverse their diabetes in 3 to 6 months, go watch my success testimonials playlist. You will be inspired. And if you want to learn how the method that they use, I actually prepared a free training for you. In the free training, I talk about the science of insulin resistance, of your beta cells, and also what's happening inside your body, how a plant predominant diet can help you reverse the root cause of it. So make sure you check it out. I'll link it in the description below, and I'll see you guys inside.